I'm writing you this letter from the edge of the world. According to a Siberian proverb, the forest was made by the devil. The devil did a good job. His forest is as big as the United States of America. But maybe the devil made the United States, too. When he's not busy making forests or states, the devil steals people's souls. Or at least that was how the Siberians regarded death for many centuries. In this frozen ground, corpses never rot. In these graves, which rest on foundations of ice, life and death are separated by nothing more substantial than a breath of air. Bring back the breath, and the body is ready to live again, to come back and share in the slow, chilly existence of the wooden villages, rounding up stray horses, building snowplows, or leading herds on their pilgrimage to milder pastures.
This is the story of a man marked by an image of his childhood. The violent scene which upset him, and whose meaning he was to grasp only years later, happened on the main pier at Orly, Paris airport, sometime before the outbreak of World War III. Orly, Sunday. There the parents used to take their children to watch the departing planes. Of this particular Sunday, the child whose story we are going to tell was bound to remember the sight of a frozen sun, of a stage setting at the end of the pier, and of a woman's face. Nothing tells memories from ordinary moments. Only afterwards do they claim remembrance on account of their scars. That face, which was to be a unique image of peacetime to carry with him through the whole wartime, he often wondered if he had ever seen it, or if he had dreamed a lovely moment to catch up with the crazy moment that came next. The sudden roar of the woman's gesture, the fall of a body, shrieking people. Only later did he realize that he had seen a man dying.
Le jour se lève sur Bruxelles et sur Prague, sur Téhéran et sur Berlin. Le dernier passant de la nuit sur le parvis Notre-Dame et dans une rue d'Amsterdam les premiers du jour. Il y a déjà du monde sur la promenade des Anglais, mais un seul Chinois sur la promenade des Chinois. Les fontaines de la Villa d'Est se mettent à couler à la même heure que celles de Rome. Les jolies nymphes de la Piazza Esedra. Un train entre en gare de la Ciotat. Un train entre en gare de Jérusalem. Une gare de sous-préfecture pour la Jérusalem terrestre. Les trains chasse-neige attendent en gare de Kiruna. De la gare de Tokyo sort le train le plus rapide du monde. Il croise des trains de banlieue pleins de Japonais qui dorment encore, déjà épuisés, déjà mangés par la ville.
J'étais le 50 610e. Je suis rentré à Paris. laissant à Kumiko un questionnaire à tout hasard. Comment jette 3 pièces dans une fontaine? Les réponses sont arrivées à la japonaise, c'est-à-dire sur bande de magnétophone. Des lettres larges de 6 mm 35, longues de 180 mètres, et qui répondaient à toutes mes questions, en commençant par les plus urgentes.
Je ne hais jamais des bêtes. Je vais bien avec des bêtes, si ce n'est pas trop grand ou inconnu, auquel je ne peux pas communiquer. Les chiens sont fidèles, trop fidèles. J'aime plutôt des chats, surtout à regarder dans les yeux d'un chat. Il a l'air soupçonneux, et quand je balance mon cœur entre la gentillesse et la méchanceté, sans aucune assurance, je vois le même reflet subtil dans les yeux.
"1967 saw the arrival of a rather peculiar breed of adolescents. They all looked alike. They would immediately recognize each other. They seemed to possess a silent but absolute knowledge of certain issues, but to be totally ignorant about others. Their hands were unbelievably skillful at pasting up posters, handling paving stones, spraying on walls short and cryptic messages which stuck in the memory, all the while calling for more hands to pass on the message they'd received but had not completely deciphered. Those fragile hands have left us the mark of their fragility. Once they even wrote it on a banner. The workers will take the flag of struggle from the fragile hands of the students. But that was the following year.
L'année 1968, je la salue avec satisfaction parce que...
Why? Sometimes do images begin to tremble?
He used to write me from Africa. He contrasted African time to European time, and also to Asian time. He said that in the 19th century, mankind had come to terms with space, and that the great question of the 20th was the coexistence of different concepts of time. By the way, did you know that there are emus in the Île-de-France? He wrote me that in the Bijago Islands, it's the young girls who choose their fiancés. He wrote me that in the suburbs of Tokyo, there is a temple consecrated to cats. I wish I could convey you the simplicity, the lack of affectation of this couple who had come to place an inscribed wooden slat in the cat cemetery, so their cat Toro would be protected. No, she wasn't dead, only run away. But on the day of her death, no one would know how to pray for her, how to intercede with death so that he would call her by her right name. So they had to come there, both of them, under the rain to perform the rite that would repair the web of time where it had been broken.
While European film buffs reveled in the sight of the Potemkin sailors, Russian audiences were dreaming of Mary Pickford and Douglas Fairbanks. Before he was a cameraman, your friend Yakov Tolchan took this photograph and many more. You were the same age, but for 1 year's difference. When I came back to Moscow after your death, sometimes I would listen to you by listening to him.
Потому что не сегодня в этом грязной жизни, а через 20-30 лет люди заинтересуются, какая была жизнь, может, все-таки будут прилично жить. Тогда, пожалуйста, это все-таки останется памятью, ради которой я с радостью, с восторгом всегда работал.
He was so proud, Tolchan, to have used one of the first handheld movie cameras in the 20s that I couldn't resist lending him my own Handycam. His last gesture of propaganda will have been for Sony.
Colossal.
Ah, le réseau. C'était la contribution de Vladimir Efimovitch Zagrevski, le génie de la bande. Le réseau des réseaux, qui permettait de se brancher gratuitement sur n'importe quelle banque de données de la planète. Au temps préhistorique du Minitel, on utilisait des pseudos. Ici, on pouvait emprunter des masques virtuels. Laura passait beaucoup de temps sur le réseau, à la recherche de témoins et d'informateurs sur Okinawa, bien sûr. Mais comme sur tous les réseaux, on y faisait toutes sortes de rencontres. Il paraît même que les initiés arrivaient à se connecter sur le système nerveux de leurs correspondants. Enfin, c'est ce qu'on disait.
Andrei Tarkovsky died at the Hartman Clinic in Neuilly on December 29th, 1986. It was the new year. As in the old expressionist cinema, where a funeral procession has to cross through a carnival, we had to cross a forest of decorated pine trees to reach the cathedral that bears the name of a film, St. Alexander Nevsky.
En 1984, Andrei Tarkovsky,
le cinéaste soviétique Andrei Tarkovsky, décédé le 28 décembre dernier d'un cancer à l'âge de 54 ans. C'était cet après-midi à la cathédrale russe orthodoxe dans le 8e arrondissement à Paris que se sont déroulées ses obsèques, à l'issue desquelles Rostropovitch a interprété une suite de Bach.
This was Paris, November 2001. The sound of the September bagpipes was still in the air. Everybody felt we had entered a new age. We marveled at the way New Yorkers had faced the tragedy, and the biggest Parisian newspaper had put on its front page, "We are all Americans." You heard everywhere the same words. Let's unite against the killers. The whole world was a band of brothers. Don't know who's to blame for the fact that it didn't last. Certainly not the cats. A cat on a roof, then another, then another. I picked them at random. I did not even think that someday they would steal cat-like into a movie. At that moment, they were just signs, but comforting ones. And how we did need comforting signs on these days.